Hello and welcome to episode 35 of Let's Hear It. Today's guest is Grayson Capps.
How you doing?
He's a great solo artist, has a new album out that came out a couple months ago called South Front Street. He'll tell us a little bit about that, and he's going to show us a classic, maybe 1946 Gibson LG2, and maybe another Gibson that he has as well. And I love this LG2, the pictures that I've seen of it. I've seen some video of him playing it, and it looks awesome. It's nice and beat up. It's even got a Willie Nelson type hole in it. So let's say hello to Grayson Capps. Hey,
Hi,
man.
how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Thanks for doing this. Yeah, this is this old guitar. I've had it for about 30 years or so.
Did you wear that hole into the top?
Oh man, you should have seen this guitar when I first got it. It was pristine. It was so shiny and new. So all this wear, like even the back is all worn off. And these LGs before, I think 1947, don't really have serial numbers. The thing that you can really tell that they are pre-47 is if you see this, the way this tapers from small to large. It's a little bit more complicated to make. Most guitars these days are completely parallel, but Gibson stopped doing that around 1947. I think you can see what I'm talking about, how this tapers up. And that it actually makes it stronger. And it's been a great guitar to travel with. It's great to amplify because it's smaller. It doesn't have the boomy, feedback issues that bigger guitars have. You can crank it through an amp. Sometimes I play it through that Vox AC30 right there sometimes, and with a band, and it'll roll. So it's a great traveling guitar.
So you've played the heck out of it, obviously.
It's been my main guitar for about 30 years. I've tried to buy new guitars and save it, and because I've had so many wonderful people sign it. Like I had Emmylou Harris here. You still can see Dr. John right there. Leon Russell, Tom T. Hall, he wore off. This guitar was in this movie I did called Love Song for Bobby Long, and John Travolta played it. He had a big old signature back here. Got Jack Cassidy and Yorma, parts of their signatures. I mean, I by all rights should have retired this guitar and shellacked the signatures, but it just consistently becomes my favorite guitar to have.
Nice. That was a tradition, I think. A lot of the old blues players and old-time banjo players as well used to get their friends and fellow musicians to autograph their instruments. So that's great that you have that.
Oh yeah, I've got tons of stuff. I've got, my friends, the Indigo Girls have signed it. A whole bunch of the Guthrie, Sarah Lee Guthrie, Nora, Arlo. Got Tony Rice.
Do you remember where you got that guitar?
I do. I got it at New Orleans Music Exchange. My friend Jimmy Glickman, he's passed away now, but it was on the corner of Louisiana and Magazine in New Orleans. I had known him since he was a fry cook at Le Bon Temps Roulette in New Orleans. And he used to work for a man named Old Man Henry at a music store, and then he started his own music store. Anyway, I came in there one day, and this thing was hanging on the wall, just beautiful. And he sold it to me for $400, and that was about 30 years ago. And
those were the days.
And it had a pickup in it at that time that was just a non-active under the thing, and it, I played that through a crate acoustic amp for a while and it was the most beautiful combination. You know how a lot of live performance depends on just the combination. But then something happened to that pickup, and I had to discover a new thing. Now my favorite combination is this Fishman Rare Earth pickup, and I usually play through a Supro Thunderbolt amp. It's got 115 speaker in it, and I have a pedal board, and it's just got a tone and volume on that amp. I can go direct with it. It has a pretty clean sound. You know, a lot of people use the Sunrise pickup, but I find this one, it's cheaper, better, and you know, people like my friend Will Kimbrough, we heard this, he started using that in all of his acoustics.
When did the hole start happening?
Well, you know, I started playing on the streets in New Orleans, and so I ended up getting into needing more volume because this guitar is smaller and doesn't have much volume. But so with finger picks, you notice where I play, see where my thumb is?
Oh yeah.
You know, so it's so usually when I'm, you know, and I notice when I get to digging in, this seems to be like the spot I can get a little mellower, you know. If I start really, you know. You know, that's where I, so anyway, yeah, that's all my wear right there, you know.
It's great. Well, go ahead and play a song or just noodle around for a minute and let's hear what it sounds like.
Let's see. So I wrote one of my favorite songs I wrote. I'll take the picks off for this because sometimes it's abrasive. I usually use those when it's a song I wrote on this guitar. Let's see. Sometimes I have to pop my ears out. I've been traveling so much in my life that I think I have damage from airplanes. There we go. Standing on the corner of Royal Street on a Sunday afternoon, out there by the old A&P, barefoot in the sun in June, I saw her playing with the big mess band, with Augie Jr. on guitar. I saw her play with John Mooney too, uptown at Madigan's bar. Washboard Lisa, wash away your sin, let 'em go down the drain. Every time you move your dirty little hands, takes away our fears and our pain. Song goes on a little bit more, but that's the general thing, and that's the
beautiful. I love the sound of that guitar. That's a great sounding song too. What album is that on? Is it on an album yet?
That was the first album I did called If You Knew My Mind. I'm looking at the album I just did, and it's on this. This is the retrospect that you were just talking about. This is kind of a compilation of songs I've done my whole life, and it's on this compilation. It's called Washboard Lisa. Kind of a picture of the first day that I saw street musicians in New Orleans, and this one particular girl went by the name of Ragtime Annie, but her name was Lisa, and I kind of fell in love with her and New Orleans at the same time, and a whole different type of music that I'd been used to. You know, I think I moved to New Orleans in '85 and was getting into Depeche Mode and Duran Duran.
Oh.
So that jug band street music changed my direction a good bit. Although I'd already been familiar with Tom T. Hall and you know, Hank Williams and Bob Dylan and all that stuff, but it got me back into the right direction.
Well, thanks to Ragtime Annie for that. I'm glad she got you out of the Depeche Mode Duran Duran world. Maybe you'll have to send us a picture of your haircut back during those days.
Oh yeah, if I can find it. I was really confused because coming from Alabama, I had that kind haircut. You know, I was kind of a preppy pseudo punk guy or something. Had the haircut
Nice.
and but then khaki pants and a button down Oxford cloth shirt with penny loafers.
Yeah. It's funny because we're probably roughly the same age. And, you know, the early 80s were not a great time for music, I don't think. I mean, we're like once New Wave came in, obviously you were into it, but I was into metal. So I was into AC/DC and Iron Maiden and
See,
stuff
you're
like
cool,
that.
man. It took me to my 30s to get into AC/DC, and now I'm still into AC/DC and Black Sabbath.
I know you got another little Gibson there too. Why don't you show us that one? Double O?
Yeah, this is a L-00 from I'm pretty sure it's 1936. It's all the original flame pickguard, and you see I've started wearing this one in the same spot. But it was a pretty damn good shape when I got it. I like the writing on it. These, of course, are not the original tuning heads, but they were on it when I got it, and they work pretty good. So I'm not messing with it. I don't really care about originality as much as functionality. Although this is original, this is an ebony nut that are indicative of these guitars, and this one's got some dead strings on it, but let's see. It's got a little brighter sound.
It does.
But yeah, it's a great little guitar.
I love those. Those are like the classic blues guitars, I think.
Oh yeah, it's just let's see. Yeah, it's got a like a. Yeah, I haven't picked this one up in a while, but I need to play it more. It's a song called "I See You." Let's see. I like to accompany it with a little harmonica.
Great.
The sun slithered down behind a sycamore tree. The wind rolled in to cool me by degrees. It's been too hot, mama, you know it's been too warm. It'll be alright when the summer's gone. Fish ain't been biting, but my hook is wet. I ain't seen no rain hang since the day I lay you out. Take a drink of water when your throat is dry. I'm gonna sit on the dam all through the night. Hear the bullfrogs croaking all around the pond. Sound just like a concert in Nouvelle Orleans. Streams through the forest just like the blood in my arms. I see you in everything. That song got a few more verses too. There's just a little snippet there. I don't know if I should play full songs or what.
Oh, that's great, man. That sounds beautiful. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate you showing us those beautiful old Gibsons. Thanks for telling us about South Front Street, and we'll make sure people have a link to check all of this out.
Okay. And Gary, I have a Patreon page that has a lot of the things I've done more intimately, where I tell stories about the songs and play them, acoustic. And also, if people are on Facebook, I do what I call spontaneous busking. It reminds me of old school playing on the streets of New Orleans, but I quite often show up on Facebook. If you just follow me, you'll get a notification I'm playing. I don't usually announce it, but there's quite a party happens.
That's
The new
great.
norm.
It is the new norm, and I'll post links to both of those, and I'll make sure that I'm on the lookout for those busking alerts as well. I'd love to see that.
Cool.
Thanks, Grayson.
Well, thanks, Gary. And I'm just gonna, say bye on my camera. So bye, y'all. Thank you once again. The beautiful L-00 and the infamous LG2. Look at that. Ooh. So Gary, thank you very much.
You got it, man. Thank you. There you go. Two great old Gibson guitars, the LG2 and the L-00. Thanks to Grayson Capps for coming on and playing those guitars and singing those beautiful song snippets for us, telling us about his new album and what he's been up to. Check back in a couple days for the next episode of Let's Hear It. Feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to do that. We'd appreciate it. See ya.